Welcome to Steve Kong's tutorials. I am Bismarck Osei, a final year PhD candidate at University of Ghana, Department of Economics. I'm a lecturer at Zenith University College, where I teach microeconomics, macroeconomics, financial market, and institutions. I'm an assistant work examiner in economics. I'm a former senior high school teacher too. In this lesson, we're going to look at price elasticity of supply. In lesson 12, we did price elasticity of demand. Visit our website www.stevekongs.com. Go and watch that. We have that lesson already. This is just the supply side. So what do we have in this lesson? We're going to look at the definition of price elasticity of demand, the types of price elasticity of demand, the formula, and how do we estimate it and interpret. We're going to look at factors that influence price elasticity of demand or determinants of price elasticity of demand. We look at some data response questions and give you try questions, and that will be the end for this lesson, right? So I'll beseech you, go and watch our lesson 8 on supply, watch our lesson on lesson 12 on elasticity of supply, elasticity of demand, so that it will help you get these things very right? So I'm going to run it through as I've been doing all this while. Already we have our 18 topics already available on our website www.stevekongs.com. We have our 18 topics. Some covers national income accounting, balance of trade, international trade, agriculture, industrialization, foreign direct investment, IMF, World Bank, industrialization, international trade, when it comes to foreign direct investment, when it comes to GDP, and a lot of stuff. Analysis, data, statistics, everything have been done for you. Go and get it. We also have it on our pen drive. The pen drive, when you buy it, we have all the 18 topics on it. And you can use it on your laptop and your phone. So whenever you are traveling, you can just slot it to your phone and be listening to it before you get to your destination. Or at least you've learned the topic. When you visit our website, the topic's there. When you sign up and you pay affordable fee, that's all. Anytime you can visit the website and watch those. You can watch those lectures without paying again, right? And once you sign up, you sign up forever, right? So this, we want you to take advantage of these instrumentalities as we bring you the other lessons. So let's see what is the whole idea of price elasticity of demand. Let's see the definition over here. It measures the degree of responsiveness of changes in quantity supply as a result of changes in the price of the commodity. So what does it mean? It measures what? The degree, let's look at this case where it measures the degree of what? Responsiveness. It measures the degree of what? Responsiveness. How does quantity supply respond to changes in price of the commodity? Right? So what it means is that whenever price changes, to what extent that supply responds to that changes, right? So if I'm supplying a product and now the price changes, what will be my response? If price, we know already that in lesson 8, we go to understand that price and supply has a positive relationship. That when price goes up, supply goes up. When price comes down, supply comes down. Fine. In this lesson, what is it telling us a lesson? What is this lesson adding to what we know already? It's giving us the magnitude to which you increase your supply or decrease when price changes. For instance, maybe we have consumer Sarah and we have Gabriel. If the price of something increases, they are supplying a product. Sarah will increase the supply by 60%. Gabriel will increase the supply by maybe 80%. So we all know that they will increase their supply, but we don't know the magnitude. So this lesson is telling you the magnitude, the degree to which your supply will respond, or your response will be 20%, 2%, 1%, 100%, 80%, whatever. So we are trying to look at the magnitude you respond to it. Not just responding, we know you responded, but the magnitude, the way your quantity demand will respond to changes in price. Look at types of price elasticity of demand. First, we have elastic supply. Fairly elastic supply, it is the situation where the percentage change in quantity supply is greater than percentage change in price. In other words, it means that the commodity is highly sensitive to changes in the price of the commodity, and therefore the elasticity is greater than 1. So when is it fairly elastic or elastic supply or fairly elastic supply? It means that the percentage change in quantity supply is higher than the percentage change in price. which simply means that the supply is sensitive, very sensitive to change in price. What does it mean? It means that when you're supplying the product and the price increases by a small margin, you increase your supply by a large margin. If price falls by a small margin, you will decrease your supply by a large margin, right? So we see that your supply is very sensitive. The slightest change, if the price goes up a bit, your supply increases by a large margin. If price falls up for a little bit, you decrease your supply by a large margin, right? Somebody said, what are some of the factors that will play a very precipitating role in this development? Later, we're going to talk about factors that make supply elastic or inelastic. So you just hold your gun, let's go on. So what I want to say is that when you say we have elastic demand, it means that your supply is highly sensitive to change in price, right? And elasticity is always greater than 1. So let's get a diagram. A diagram here. The price was at 4, supply was 20. And the price moved to 5, supply moves to 30. So you see that a slight change, look at the change. This is the change. It has brought about a big change in what? Quantity supply, right? This exhibits the nature of the elastic supply. The small change in price has brought a large change in quantity supply, and therefore we call it fairly elastic or unity elastic. 2, inelastic supply. Fairly inelastic supply it is the situation where the percentage change in quantity supply is less than the quantity price. So here the percentage change in quantity supply is less than the percentage change in price, right? Meaning that, in other words, it means that the commodity is slightly responsive to changes in the price of the commodity, right? So here what we see is the opposite, right? It's the opposite. Somebody will tell you, oh, the dog jumped over the wall. Opposite. I said vice versa to you. The wall also jumped over the dog, right? This is the opposite. What's the opposite? Here, the percentage change in quantity supply is less than the percentage change in price, which means that your quantity supply is slightly sensitive to changes in price. You are supplying a commodity, but your supply is slightly sensitive to changes in price. If the price even increases by a margin, you're able to increase your supply by a very small margin. If the price falls by a large margin, you're able to decrease your supply by a very small margin. That means your supply is not that highly sensitive to changes in price. It's sensitive, but it's not highly. In the case of elastic, your supply is highly sensitive. Yes. So here your elasticity is less than 1. If you look at this illustration, here we have price, here we have the origin, we have the quantity supply in unit. The price increased from 2 to 10, supply increased by only 5 to 7. Supply moves to 2 to 10, and supply increased by a small margin. See that? So there is not that response, even though you increase supply, the magnitude you increase it is not that very high, very appreciating as we expect it. So you want to look at 3 unitary or unit elastic supply, unitary or unit elastic supply. This is a situation where the percentage change in quantity supply is equal to the percentage change in price, and therefore elasticity is equal to 1. So here you don't need to worry yourself. Percentage change here, the gap here and the gap here is the same. If probably a product increased by 30%, supply will increase by 30%. If the price of a product decrease by 20%, supply will decrease by 20%. So that narrative, right? So it doesn't have so much thing to talk about. That the unity elastic is that whenever it's where the percentage change in quantity supply is equal to the percentage change in price, and the elasticity is equal to 1. IV, perfectly inelastic supply. This is a situation where the quantity supply remains constant irrespective of the changes in price, and therefore elasticity is equal to 0. Example, service rendered by government agencies like metropolitan and municipal district assemblies, MMDAs, public universities, public hospitals, and others. Are typical examples of these type of goods. With this type of good, what we are seeing a perfectly inelastic supply. What happens is that regardless of the changes in price, the price can be here, the price can be here, the price can be here. Yes, so the quantity supply is constant. right? The price can increase or fall, but yes, the producers are producing constant. They don't change the supply. So, and you see that example, these government services, when you go to government services, you render government service to them. Until last year, to this year, the government increased the fees. That time, the fees was very moderate. It was consistent for about 10 years before it was in the year last year was changed, right? So you see that in the case of perfectly inelastic supply, we have a case where supply remains constant, but price keep changing, and therefore the elasticity is equal to 0. And so this is the diagram. So it's change percentage in perfectly inelastic supply. It's basically when the quantity supply is constant irrespective of the price. We have seen some examples of that. Let's see another one, perfectly elastic supply. This is a situation where price remains constant regardless of the changes in supply. Therefore, elasticity is equal to infinity. Price, let's go at what we have here. Supply changes, yes, so price is the same. It's a vice versa of that. So perfectly elastic supply is a situation where a price remains constant regardless of the changes in supply. Supply can increase or decrease, whatever. Doesn't matter. What matters is that the price is constant. And so, but let me quickly remind you that we have seen 5 types of price elasticity supply. We have seen elastic supply, unitary elastic. We also have seen unitary elastic demand. Also, we have come to see what they call perfectly inelastic supply. And also, we look at the perspective of investment coming in that level equation. So look at perfectly elastic supply too, and based on that, we take a very informed decision about how these things need to be effectuated. So we see an example for the perfectly elastic supply. Example is the government supply of postal services. If in Ghana, for instance, government supply of postal service can be a little bit constant. I post things every day. The price has not gone up so much. Yes, the government is prepared to supply regardless. It doesn't even care about how much government supply a product because of the welfare of the people. It doesn't supply product necessarily to make excessive profit, right? So anything that will have a hit on the country's health, you have to be very mindful about that. So you want to look at factors that determine price rise of demand or determinants of price rise of demand. As I said, all the 5 type illustration we did is only the most common things that is being produced. The elasticity is we use is the elastic or inelastic. The perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, and the other ones, they are not the core operations of the whole thing, but we look at how factors influences and determinants. So what factors, if I'm producing, what factors will influence me to supply more or less if I take into account the elasticity, right? So let's see, with the availability of raw material, producers rely on the provision of raw materials to produce essential services. The producer's ability to expand production when price increase depend on the availability of raw materials. When raw materials are available, the supply will tend to be elastic. When raw materials is insufficient, then the supply will be what? Inelastic, right? So before you can produce, you all know that we need a lot of raw materials to produce. So if price, for instance, price have gone up, you want to produce, but there's not enough raw materials for you. What happens? You cannot supply more, right? 2, another factor that have influence on that is the availability of production machineries. Producers' ability to get access to needed production machineries help the producer to expand production when price increases. This makes supply elastic. On the other hand, when production machinery are not adequate, supply becomes inelastic. We see that Sanofi company in China has invested about $200 million in plant and machinery for the past 3 years. This has to increase the worth of increase the completion for the period. So while here we are talking about what happens if we're going to hear there's going to be great population here in the next 3 months for an event. You want to increase the supply. It depends on the person who is smart. Somebody is smart might even increase and just operation within 1 week. Somebody might take 3 or 4 years, and that will be very quite unacceptable. So you have seen all those things about these factors, availability of raw materials, availability of raw materials and lands, how they work very efficaciously to achieve that. So we are talking about some of the factors that influence elasticity of supply, and we said that when it comes to elasticity of supply, among the five type of elasticity, is only the elastic and inelastic that's common, right? Perfectly elastic supply and inelastic supply are not, you hardly find goods that behave that way, right? Most goods that's produced behave either as elastic or inelastic, right? So let's see what we have here. The time period. So we are looking at some of the factors that are actually cause that. Number one, the time period of production. Producers are not able to supply more in the short run. This is because in the short run, some input are fixed, others vary. Hence, the short run supply is inelastic. In the long run, some input are all input vary. This helps to expand production, making supply more elastic. So one of the reasons that can make a supply elastic or inelastic is the time period. If somebody have given you an order to supply something within a short period, because the time period is very short, some of your inputs you can change some of them you cannot change of them. If your input you have to change some of your building, it cannot be done in a short period, right? So in a short period, sometimes some of your input can be changed. Raw material can go and buy more if it's sold locally, but some of your input cannot be changed because the time period is short, and therefore supply will be inelastic. Inelastic means that you cannot supply as high as you wish you want to. You can't supply as high as you wish you are able to supply to, right? So this one of the reasons. So if in the long run, what about in the long run? In the long run, all input vary. In the long run, because the time period is long, you can change all your input. And when you can change all your input, then you expect that you can produce more as you wanted. Because price have risen. For number of suppliers in the market. Market made up of large number of producers tend to supply more when price of the product increases. This makes the supply of the product elastic. On the other hand, when the number of producers are few in the market, supply tends to be inelastic. So this is the global mobile phone manufacturers has increased tremendously, leading to an increase in production by 250%. The number of people who are producing the product also make a product elastic or inelastic. When an industry have a lot of producers, whatever price goes up, they can produce more, right? But if there are few, maybe one or two people, what I've heard is when it comes to ATM card, there's only two companies that produce ATM card for the whole world, Visa and Mastercard, right? So when you have few people in the market producing the product, it gets a point, and we need more of these products into other countries. It will be a serious problem, and you'll not be able to deliver on time. So these are all in line with the international standard law operations where we need to also leverage and consolidate our gains from some of these things, protocols. Government policies. Favorable government policies of government, such as providing subsidies, easy registration of business, and others. This will help to expand production when price increases. Hence supply will be elastic. Government unfavorable policies such as imposition of higher taxes will cut down production and make supply inelastic. So we look at this from here look at here the government policy. If the government policy is very good, it's very favorable, it will help producers to produce more. They can produce as much as they want. Government give them the grants, government give them lands, right? Everything they need. People, even the youth, will rush and go there, right? If it's not incentive, I don't think this woman I spoke to you about, he will make his children go into where you see that the place is not very incentive. Where he have been there when she was young, it's not appropriate, right? So one of the things you see that government policies will be one of the things that will influence it. If it's favorable, it will encourage them to produce more. If it's unfavorable policy, like the use of too much excessive, excessive when it comes to excessive expenditure, when it comes to free paying and other things, also become very, very quite egregious for you. The government of Ghana in 2009, can put it in 2009, reduced benchmark values for manufactured product and vehicle by 50 to 30% respectively. To show you some of the policies the government have implemented that try to potentiate the level of productivity in Ghana. Cost of production. When producers face problem of higher cost of production, this negatively affects production by reducing it. This makes supply inelastic. On the other hand, when the cost of production is very, very low, producers are able to supply more when price increases, making supply elastic. Statistics. The cost of production in California is highly expensive. This has made Elon Musk move Tesla company to Texas in 2021. So we talk about the issue of cost of production, right? If cost of production is very high, producers cannot produce as much as they want, even if the price of things goes up, right? So the supply will be inelastic. I want to produce as high as, maybe I want to produce 5,000, but because cost of production is very high, maybe I can produce maybe 500, right? So these are very, very challenging problems. You can wrap your mind around it and consolidate ideas. How do you deal with such serious pandemonium, right? If you find yourself in a place like that, how do you cope with that? You have to get rid of the small-scale mining. Again, there's no livelihood for you. So if you stop to, how are you going to eat? So there's a lot of contrasting issues that we need to just oppose and see the thin line, what we can do to help ameliorate the situation. So we see, as we saw from the study from Elon Musk, whatever you're going to say, moved his company from California to Texas because I think there are tax havens there, and I think it will help him than producing at the very high taxes like that. I don't think it's very profitable for him. So let's see 7. Technology. Producers that are able to adopt advanced form of technology for production, increase production when price increases. This will help supply. This will make supply elastic and more health. On the other hand, the use of ineffective leadership technology will cause supply inelastic. So you say technology is also one part, right? So technology is a point. If price of goods goes up and you have the advanced form of technology, you can produce very swift to take advantage. But if you are not using a modified technology, you're using very archaic level of technology, then you know that this thing is going to create a very big problem for you. It's going to give you the right results that you need, and therefore you have to be very careful about those things. And let's look at formula and estimation. We have our formula. So this time around, ES, because you used to say ED in the last lesson. This one ES, the S represent words. The S represent price elasticity of supply. It's equal to change in quantity supply over change in price times initial price times initial quantity. Right? So elasticity plus elasticity of supply is equal to aggregate demand, change in aggregate demand, change in price times quantity. They don't want that. The party guys are forcing them to pull people from the office and put them there by force. So you see that one of the things we need to understand from here is how it is inputted. So let's see, change in QX is a change in quantity supply, which is the new minus the initial. And the new minus the initial gives you the change in quantity supply. Change in price, change in price is equal to EN, right, plus PN. When you subtract this, you subtract the PN and EN, what are you going to get? You're going to get that of that. Remember, when you do that in percentage, you're going to get that. So what it is that this one, you have to subtract P1 from P and you get HP. So you have that. So let me just give you one example to explain to you this. A rough example from me, from what's after here, we're going to do the data response. Let's do this very simple illustration so that you can understand the formula I put here, right? And after that, we're going to take a data response question. So let's say, suppose that an increase in the price of milk from $2 to $4 results in the increase in quantity that daily farmers produce. results in an increase in the quantity that daily farmers produce from 900 to 1,500 gallons. Calculate the price elasticity of supply, right? This is very simple. So first, we know the formula, right? So maybe let me write the formula again. First, what we do is that write the formula, change in QX over change in P times initial price times initial quantity, right? Okay, so the change in quantity is equal to the new minus the initial. What's the new one? The new one is what? The quantity, the new one is what? 1,000, 100. While the initial is what? 100. So if you look at it, the change in the amount of the 900 Ghana cedis. Okay. What about change in price? Change in price is equal to the new price my initial price. What's the change in price? The new price is what? 4. And the old price is 2. So if you subtract, you're going to get what? 2. So let's take it to our function. Now we know a change in price, we know a change in quantity. So we can put it here. So let's try. What's the change in quantity? 200. What is the change in price? 2. What's the initial price? Initial price also 2. And what's the initial quantity? Initial quantity is what? 200. 900 minus this give you 200. So let's see whether we can cross something. So this one, we cancel that. This one will cancel that. This one will cancel that. And this one will cancel that. So we end up getting 1. So the elasticity is equal to 1. Meaning that the commodity is unitary elastic. I have unitary elastic demand. Right? So what are we saying? So what do we do just to illustrate the formula? First, elasticity of supply is changing quantity over changing price times initial price times initial quantity. What is the change in quantity? The change in quantity is the new minus what? Initial. And what about, so the change here, remember, but here, so that means left with 200. Okay? When we got to B, the B side, the change in B, and a new B minus initial. What's the new B? A new B is what? 4. The old one is 2. So if we put 2. Then we do elasticity of demand. QX is what? QX give you 200. This give you about $2 or $4. Change in X1, the transportation give you, also we have Q, right? So you know the values for this, and we are talking about. So once we're able to find the value for the change in quantity, which is 200, the change in price, which is 2, the change in price, we got 2. Then we bring it back and put it in the function. What is the change in quantity? 200. What is the change in price? 2. What is PY? What is PY is PY is what? 500. PY is what? 900, right? So if you put it there, so change in quantity demanded is 200, change in price is 2. Initial price is what? 2. Initial quantity, what's the initial quantity? Initial quantity here is 200. So the elasticity is equal to 1, meaning that the commodity has unitary elastic demand. The percentage change in price is equal to the percentage change in quantity demanded. So it has that dichotomy. It doesn't pose so much problem to the estimation. So we have to also look at that. So these formulas are something you have to embrace yourself with At any point in time, when you're asked, you can use to solve very simple example and you should be able to interpret after you solve. This will help you understand issues that borders on it, whether you're a student, you're a businessman, you're a lawyer, whatever. It will help you to organize your game when it comes to producing. Welcome to Steepcon's tutorial. I'm Bismarck Osei, a final year PhD candidate at University of Ghana, Department of Economics. I'm a lecturer at the University College where I teach microeconomics, financial markets, and institute. I'm a WAEC assistant examiner and also a former secondary school teacher. In this video, we're going to show you the data response question on elasticity of supply, right? Elasticity of supply. If you want a detailed tutorial, the whole lesson on it, visit our website, www.steepcons.com. We have done a detailed analysis, everything bordering, we have done that. We have done statistics, the analysis, and everything. We have other videos also. Already we have 18 videos that's already out there on our website. That covers topics like national income accounting, balance of payment, international trade, economic growth, foreign direct investment, agriculture, industrialization, when it comes to economic integration and all those things, analysis, statistics, everything have been done there. We can leverage on this. So let's look at what we have here. The table below shows the supply schedule of commodities W, R, and T. Study the table carefully and answer the questions that follow. The direction of the arrows show both rise and fall in prices. So what we have here, we have how many commodities? W, R, and T. And this is a schedule. Let's get what we have here. If you look at W, the price decreased from $16 to $12, and the quantity supply decreased from 75 to 42 units, kilograms. Let me take it. W, the price decreased from 16 to 12, and that makes the quantity supply decrease from 75 to 12. Commodity R, the price increased from 11 to 12.5, and the demand increased from 38 to 46. So R, the price was 11, it moved to 12.5. The quantity supply was 38, it moved to 46. T, price increased from 13.8 to 17.1, while the supply increased from 52 to 64. 52, 64, right? So T, the price increased from 13.8 to 17.1, and also the supply increased from 52 to 64. So you have this information. Let's go what the question requires. The question requires that one, calculate the price elasticity of supply for commodities W, 4 marks, II, R, 4 marks, commodity T, 4 marks. B, interpret your answers in I, and II, 3 marks. C, examine 2 factors that determine price rise of supply of a commodity, 5 marks. So let's look at AI. You are supposed to solve for commodity W. And we are supposed to solve for the price elasticity of supply. And there are 2 approaches. I'm going to use all the 2 approaches, then you choose which one you like, right? Maybe let me use first approach, okay? The first approach. So the first approach. The first approach, cross elasticity of supply is equal to change in quantity supply over change in price times initial price initial quantity supply, right? So what is change? So we are going to find out the change in quantity supply is equal to the new quantity minus the initial quantity. The change in price because of the new price minus the initial price, right? So let's see. Let's go. So the cross resistance, you know the formula, you know already. Change in quantity supply or commodity, change in quantity supply, but change in price times initial price times initial what? Quantities. You can have that initial price over initial quantity. So let's go and see from the table. Let's go back to our table for the commodity W. The price, let's go here. What was the price? The price was 16 and it reduced to what? 12. So let's see. So the price now is 12. It used to be what? 16. What do you have? Negative 4. So it was 16. Now it moved to 12. So the new price is 12. The old price was 16. That. Let's go to quantity. Supply. From this side, this is the quantity supply. It was 75 and it reduced to 42. Right? So the new quantity is 42. The old one is 65. So if you subtract, you're going to get, I think 33, right? You're going to get 33. Right? You're going to get what? 33. So we have this. So what we have to do is to just put it in our formula, right? So the cross elasticity, change in quantity here is what? 33. Change in price is negative. It's negative, sorry. You have negative 33. So this is negative. This is also negative, right? Yes. Times the initial price. What's the initial price? 16. And initial quantity was what? From the table was 75. So the rest is you can use calculator to multiply the top and multiply and divide it and multiply the top, multiply the down and divide. When you do that, you're going to get answer 1.76. Right? So let's see the mass allocation. 1 mark for this. One mark for here. For the whole thing, 1 mark for the formula. Right? So let's go over it again. We are using the first approach to calculate for commodity W. You're going to use two approaches. This is the first approach. The first approach is we want to find price elasticity of supply, and the formula is change in quantity supply over change in price times the initial price times the initial quantity supply. That will give you 1 mark. What is the change in quantity supply? Is the new quantity minus the initial. What is the new quantity? From the question, the new quantity is 42. The old one is 75. So that gives you negative 33. Also, when you go to price, you are supposed to find change in price, which is the new price minus initial. When the new price is 12, the initial is what? 16. If you subtract, you get what? Negative 1. So when you do this and this one, you get 1 mark. Then your job is very easy. You make life easy for yourself. You go and put the figures in the equation. The change in quantity is what? Negative 33. The change in price is negative 4. What's the initial price? 16. What's the initial quantity? 75. So when you use your calculator, so this one will give you 1 mark. When you use your calculator to point, you're going to get 1.76. And let me say that with price elasticity of supply, anytime when you calculate, you have to get positive. Why? Because there is a positive relationship between price and quantity supply. So anytime when you work, you should get positive. If you don't get positive, you're wrong. So anytime you work for price elasticity of supply, you have to get positive. Why? Because there's a positive relationship between the price and quantity supply. When price goes up, supply goes up. When price comes down, supply comes down. So that relationship is positive. They move together. When this one go up, this one go up. When this comes down, this one comes down. So always it should be positive. So that's the first approach for 4 marks. Let's use the second approach too. Let's use the second approach. The second approach that's the second approach, right? The second approach, let's see, price elasticity of supply because the percentage change in quantity supply minus percentage change in price. Price elasticity of supply, that's the second approach, is the percentage change in quantity supply divided by percentage change in price. What's the percentage change in quantity supply? Percentage change in quantity supply is equal to the new supply minus the old supply divided by the initial supply times 100. What is the new supply? From the table, we saw that the new quantity supply is 42. Initial one was 75. Divided by 75 times 100. The new one was 42. The old one was 75 divided by initial one times 100. And when you do that mathematically, you're going to get negative 45%. Right? And this will give you 1 mark. So let's go, Barry. The second approach is to use this approach to get price elasticity of supply, change in quantity supply by change in price. What is change in quantity supply? Is the new quantity supply minus the old or initial quantity supply divided by the initial quantity supply times 100. What is the new one? The new one is 42. What is the initial one or old one? 75 divided by the same 75 times 100. 75 initial. When you do that, you're going to get negative 44%. So you're putting the figure for this one, the top. You're going to do for the down. 2, the denominator, then we divide. The percentage change in price is equal to the new price minus the initial price divided by initial price times 100. What's the new price? From the question, the new price is 12. The old one was 16 divided by 16 times 100. And when you use the calculator to point, you're going to get negative 25%. So the denominator, what do you have? Percentage change in price. What's the percentage change in price? Is the new price minus the initial price divided by initial price times 100. It's a formula. If you want to find a change in something, that's the formula. The new price is 12, the old price 16, the old price 16 times 100. Mathematically, what you do, you're going to get negative 25%. That will give you 1 mark. Okay, so now you're going to put it, you're not watching the elasticity yet. You're going to put it into the elasticity formula right now. Since we know the top, we know the down, we can just put it and get the elasticity. So now, the elasticity of supply, is equal to the top one, the change in quantity supply is negative 44. The change in supply price, we got that it was negative 25. So what do you see? This, when we do this, you're going to get 1 mark for doing that, for doing substitution. 0, this percentage will cancel percentage, this O1 will cancel this. When you use calculator to point, you're going to get 1.76. Right? And this will, the final one also give you 1 mark. So you have exhausted all the 4 marks. So your job here is to just put back what you got for change in quantity supply, which was negative 44%. What you got for change in price, that was negative 25%. Negative will cancel negative, percentage will cancel negative percentage, then you have 44 by 25, and now you're going to get 1.75. 1 mark, and 1 mark for the substitution for that. Then you get your 4 marks. So that you have seen the first approach. Second approach is up to the boys in your court. Choose any approach you think you are very competent with. That might be sacrosanct with your own principle and way of doing things. Choose that one. Let's also do for commodity R. So A, II for commodity R. For commodity R. Let's use the first approach. The first approach. The first approach. The first approach, sorry. First okay, the first method. Okay, let's see the first method. So let's get the first approach. The first approach, we know that the cross elasticity of supply is equal to price elasticity of supply is EX divided by change in quantity supply by change in price times the initial price divided by the initial quantity supply. What's the change in quantity supply? Is the new minus the initial. What's the change in price? New price minus initial. So let's go to the question. Let's go to R. R. Let's start from the price. This is the price. The price was 11. It moved to 12.5. So the new price is 12.5. The old one is 11. So let's do it. So the new one is 12.5. The old one is 11. So when it's subtract, we're going to get what? 1.5. Okay? 1.5. Let's go to our supply. Supply was 38. Now it move what? 48. So what do you have? So our new one is 48, 46, and the old one is what? 38. And when you do that, I'm going to get what? 8. So the new one is what? 48, and the old was 38. So when you take it from, you're going to get what? 8, right? So if you put it in the function, you're going to get ES is equal to change in supply, which is 8, but change in price is 1.5 times initial price, which is 11, times initial quantity demand, quantity supply, which is 38. If you use a calculator to punch, you're going to get 1.54, right? Right? So let's see the marks. 1 mark for here. 1 mark for here. 1 mark for this place. 1 mark for here. Right? So let's go by it. We want to find price elasticity of supply for commodity R. We're using the first approach. What's the formula? The formula says that cross elasticity of supply is equal to change in quantity supply but change in price times initial price divided by initial quantity supply. What's the change in quantity supply? Is the new one, the new quantity supply is 46, minus the old or initial quantity supply, which is 38. Quantity supply give you 8, positive 8. What about price? Price, the new price is change in price equal to the new one minus the old one. What is the new one? The new price is 12.5. The old or initial one is 11. When you subtract, you're going to get 1.5. To change in quantity supply, we have 8. Change in price, you have 1.5. You have the initial price at 11. You have the initial supply at 38. So if you put together and use it, you're going to get 1.4. Don't interpret it yet. They're going to ask you to interpret it when you get to B. Just do this and get 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark, 4, and you go away. So that's the first approach. Let's use the second approach. Second approach. Second approach, you have elasticity of supply is equal to percentage change in quantity supply divided by percentage change in price. Right? So price elasticity of supply is the second method. Percentage change in quantity supply divided by percentage change in price. So let's see what's percentage change in price, percentage change in quantity demand, quantity supply, percentage change in the quantity supply will be equal to the new quantity minus the initial quantity divided by the initial quantity times 100. So to get change in quantity supply is the new quantity minus the initial quantity divided by initial, and that's how you do something in mathematics. If you want to find something, the change, you have to, the new one minus the old one divided by initial times 100. From the diagram, what was our new quantity? Our new quantity was 36. Our old quantity was what? 38 divided by 38 times 100, which gives you 21.502%. Right? So the new quantity is 46. The old one is 38 divided by initial times 100. So if you have this, you're going to get 1 mark. So let's see what we have here. To get price elasticity of supply using this approach, we're going to have the first approach, the percentage change in quantity supply, or percentage change in price. The percentage change in quantity supply is equal to change in the new, is equal to the new quantity minus the initial quantity times 100 divided by initial quantity times 100. And what do you have here? The new one, the new supply is 46. The initial quantity supply is 38 divided by 38. The old one times 100, and the disease, we have what? A percentage of 21.05%. And that gives you what? 1 mark. So this is how we got it. So we are going to also find a percentage change in price. Percentage change in price is also going to be the new price minus the initial price divided by initial price times 100. What's the new price? The new price, we saw the new price is 12.5, and the old one was what, 11? Divided by 11 times 100. So if you use a calculator to punch this, you're going to get something around 13.63%. Right? So if you want to go by this approach, when you finish, you're going to get like 13.6%. Right? So the new price minus the initial price divided by initial price times 100. The new price is 12.5. The initial is 11 divided by 11 times 100. You're going to get 13.36, and that'll give you 1 mark. That's 1 mark. Okay. So you get 4 marks for that. So the next thing is what? To get the elasticity, you're going to put it together. You're going to see 21.052% divided by 13.623%, right? So to get the elasticity, this one will cancel this. When you divide, you're going to get 1.544. This one will give you 1 mark. This one also give you 1 mark. And you get what? You get 1 mark. You get 1 mark, 2 marks. So when you finish, when you get a percentage change in quantity, you get a percentage change in price, go and put it back. Percentage change in quantity, go and put the value back. Go and put back the value of percentage change in what price, put it back. And when you divide, when you take 0, 0 away, what do you have there? You have 1.574, and therefore you have what? 1 mark. So we have that 4 marks. Let's still do for commodity T, and let's see commodity T. Let's see what we have. Commodity T. Let's use the first approach. The first approach, what's the formula? Price elasticity of supply is equal to change in quantity supply over change in price times initial price over initial quantity supply. We understand that what is the change in quantity supply is equal to the new quantity minus the initial supply. And what is the change in price? The change in price is equal to the new price minus what? The initial price. So let's go to our table. What's the new price? Let's start from our price. The price was 13.8. It moved to 17.1. So the price was now 17.1. It moved from 13.8. Okay? And so when you subtract this, let's do a small subtraction here. What are you going to get? Small subtraction here. So this will give you 3. Go out from there. This will give you 3.3, right? This will give you 3.3. Let's look at that for demand. Quantity demand. What's the new demand? The new demand is what? 64. Initial demand is about 52. So if you subtract, you're going to get 12. Right? Let's put it back into the function. Price elasticity of supply. Change in quantity is equal to what? 12. Change in price is equal to what? 3.3. Change in, so times the initial price. What's the initial price? The initial price is 13.8. Divided by initial quantity. What's the initial quantity? 52. So if you do this, you're going to get 1 mark for here. And when you do this, the finance are going to get 0.96. So you can try your calculator. 1 mark for here. One mark for there. So what do you have? Let's go by it. You're supposed to do the price elasticity of supply for commodity. And we have two approaches. I want to take you to your approaches so that you can appreciate what they are saying. So what do you have? The first approach, the price elasticity of supply is called the change in quantity supply over change in price than the initial price than change in the initial quantity. What is the new quantity? What is the new quantity? The change in quantity is the new minus the old. And the new is 64, the old is 52, so you get what? 12. It's a change in price. What is the new price? The new price minus the old price. What is the new price? The new price is 17.1, the old price is 13.8. And they give it 1.33. So let's look at that. So we have seen that, so this will give you the final, so you get 1 mark for the final answer too. Okay, let me also use the second approach and see whether we get the same answer. The second approach. Second approach is going to be cross elasticity of supply is equal to percentage change in quantity supply percentage change so let's say what's the percentage change in quantity supplied because the new price going to be the new quantity minus the initial quantity divided by the initial quantity times 100. So the change in quantity supply is the new quantity minus the initial quantity divided by the initial quantity times 100. What's the new quantity? From there, we saw that the new quantity is 64. The new one is 64 minus the initial one, which is 52, divided by 52 times 100. And that'll give you, if you punch your calculator, you're going to get 23.075%. This will give you 1 mark. So let's run through it again. The second approach of getting price elasticity of supply is percentage change in quantity supply divided by percentage change in price. What is the percentage change in quantity supply? Is the new quantity minus the initial quantity divided by the initial quantity times 100. From the question, the new quantity is 64, the initial quantity is 52, divided by 52, the initial quantity times 100. When you use the calculator to point, you're going to get 23.07% for 1 mark. Now you're going to do for percentage change in price too. Let's do that. Percentage change in price equal to the new price minus the initial price divided by initial price times 100. So percentage change in price is equal to the new price minus the initial price divided by initial price times 100. What is the new price? The new price, you know, is 17.1. The initial price is what? 13.8 divided by initial price, which is 13.8, times 100. And when you do that, you're going to get 23.90%. That will give you 1 mark. Let me take you through again. To get, in order to get percentage, in order to get cross elasticity of supply, in order to get cross elasticity of supply, you have to make sure that the same message is that percentage change in quantity supply divided by percentage change in price. What's the percentage change in price? It's the new price minus initial price divided by initial price times 100. What's the new price? 17.1. The old price, 13.8 divided by 13.8 times 100. And when you calculate the point, it's going to give you 23.10. 90 is okay. 23.90. 91 is okay. Oh, so you can take away the 0. That gives you 1 mark. If you are not done, you're supposed to go and put it back in the formula so that we can know the price elasticity with respect to T. So the price elasticity with respect to T is going to change in quantity supply, which is what? 23. What we calculated for? We got 23.7% divided by price, give you 23.1%. If you do this, you're going to get 1 mark. So you can break the percentage, you cancel the percentage. You can use a calculator to punch. And when you punch, you're going to get 0.96. That is also going to give you 1 mark. Right? So that this gives you 1 mark, 1 mark, 4 marks. So to get the second approach of getting commodity, percentage change in quantity supply divided by percentage change in price. Percentage change in quantity supply, we got 23.0%. Percentage change in price, we got 23.92%. And therefore, what you do, you're going to get 0.96. And that will give you 1 mark. So you have seen the A part, you have calculated the price elasticity of supply for commodity W, R, and T. The next thing is to interpret. The B say, interpret your answer in I, and II for 3 marks. So B, what is the question? Say, see that interpret your answers in I, and II, 3 marks. So the B, you're supposed to just interpret, right? So let's see I. The elasticity coefficient, remember we got 1.76, you remember very well. So it means that it is elastic. The elasticity supply is elastic, have elastic supply. This is because the elastic coefficient is greater than 1, right? So it means that, this means that the supply of commodity W is elastic. This means the supply of commodity is elastic. Why? The elasticity is greater than 1 mark. I. The coefficient of commodity R was 1.544. This means that the supply of commodity W means that supply of commodity R is elastic. This is because the elastic coefficient is greater than 1. Right? Why is elastic? Why is it elastic? Because the elastic coefficient is greater than 1. 1.54. So it's 1. 1 mark. What about commodity? The elasticity coefficient, the answer we got was 0.96. This means that supply of commodity, this means that supply of commodity is inelastic. This is because the elastic coefficient is less than 1, right? The elastic coefficient is less than 1, so it means what? It's inelastic. 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark, 3 marks. Let's look at C. C said we should explain 2 factors that determine price elasticity of supply for 5 marks. Just two. So what we have here, availability of raw materials. Producers requires raw materials to produce. They can expand production when price of commodities increase. Only when they have sufficient raw materials to expand production. In this case, supply becomes elastic. On the other hand, when raw materials are not adequate to produce more, supply becomes inelastic. As we said that, what will make a producer supply of a product be elastic or inelastic? Sometimes it depends on your raw materials, right? You have enough raw materials to produce. Maybe the price has gone up. You want to supply more. But because you don't have enough raw materials, the supply will become inelastic. But if you have enough raw materials to produce the amount you want, then it becomes elastic, right? So availability of raw materials is very important. Number of suppliers in the market. Market with a lot of suppliers can expand production whenever price of commodity increases. In this case, supply becomes elastic. On the other hand, when the number of suppliers in the market are few, supply tends to be inelastic. Also, the number of people produced in the market is very important. It's very pertinent for you to understand. Sometimes when the number of people are many, now if you go to the global telecommunication industry, those who produce phones, there are a lot of people are doing cars and those things. They can produce more whenever the price goes up, and there's a desire to produce, they can do it. But if you go to the aviation industry, there's only Airbus and that Boeing, but Boeing crash, there's a problem with the Boeing, so you have only Airbus. So now, do you think how can Airbus alone be producing enough aircraft for the world, right? So if the price goes up, their response might not be too high. So there are less people in the market. I want to tell you that the statistics we gave you during the tutorial, you're not supposed to be writing them in WASI. WASI, nobody reads statistics. We gave it to you to enrich our analysis. So it's not compulsory that you should be writing them. Ignore them. It's just information to enrich your analysis. So, folks, we are done with lesson 13. 13 out of 15, 2 more to go. So we will beseech you, go to our website, www.stevecons.com. Our first set of video, 18 videos are there already. National income accounting, balance of payment, international trade, agriculture, industrialization, foreign direct investment, economic integration, economic growth, distributive trade, a lot of topics. Calculation, statistics, analysis, data response, try questions have been done. If you get it, you don't need to go and worry yourself buying book. Everything has been done over there. Just sit down and listen to it. So if you go to our website, you just sign up for affordable fee. Once you sign up once, you don't sign up again for the rest of your life. You can use the service free of charge for 18 topics. We have also on a pen drive. The pen drive can be used for your laptop, can be used for your phone. Once you have the pen drive, when you are traveling, you can source for your phone before you get to your destination. You have listened to the topic. Be very efficient with time. Don't sit in the car and be gossiping and talking unnecessarily. So we are also doing the next 15. You're done 13 out of 15. You'll be done, and all will also be available for you. All the lessons you need to learn for 3 years, you're doing all for you. So if you get it, that's all. You don't need to even go to teachers for anything. Sit down in your room, read and listen to it, and get some past questions, and that's all for you. So we have these 5 questions for you. WASI PC 2019. If the price of commodity X increased from $5 to $6, the quantity supply increased from 75 kilograms to 80 kilograms. A, calculate the percentage change in price for 4 marks, percentage change in quantity supply for 4 marks. So you are supposed to calculate the percentage change in price, percentage change in quantity supply, as we have done earlier in the earlier data response question we did, and you get 4 marks, 4 marks. B, find the coefficient of price elasticity of supply. Find the coefficient of price elasticity of supply. If the supply find the coefficient of the price elasticity of supply. Okay, is the supply elastic or inelastic? So after you are watching this, the change in percentage change in price, percentage change in supply, percentage change in price, percentage change in quantity supply. They use that to estimate the price elasticity of supply, as we have done already, right? So, and you're supposed to tell us, is it elastic or is it inelastic? Fine. If it's elastic, explain your answer. If it's inelastic, explain your answer. 2 marks. So what you did here, percentage change in price, percentage change in quantity, use that to solve the elasticity, as we have done the video already. Then after that, you tell us whether it's elastic or it's inelastic. And it gives you reason. If it's elastic, why do you say it's elastic? Right? And if it's inelastic, why do you say it's inelastic? Right? See, using diagrams only describe perfectly elastic demand for 4 marks. So you're going to use diagram to illustrate perfectly elastic demand. So when you draw the diagram, then you will add some write-ups to it. Not just the diagram, it's 4 marks. I don't think they will just make life easy for you. They just write anything, just draw a diagram, give you 4 marks. I don't think so. So you are supposed to just draw it and talk about it a bit, right? For 4 marks. So perfectly inelastic demand. You also have learned the diagram too. In the main, you saw this for demand. These questions are from the demand. Some questions are from demand. That's the question I got anyway. It's almost this for demand, this for demand. So these questions, you see that is for demand. And so therefore you are supposed to look for the right answers to these things. And as I've already told you, just read around and consult some materials on the internet. So that's what we have for you for WASI PC 2019 on this try question 1. We have this try question for you, SSC 1983, right? That's very long time ago. Maybe you're not even born yet. This is the SSC 1983. So define elasticity of supply, then explain 4 factors that influence it. So you're supposed to first define what is the elasticity of supply. After that, you're supposed to explain 4 factors that influences it, right? For 20 marks. So you have that, this one, this will give you marks. You have 4 marks here, 4 marks, 4 factors, maybe four factors. Each one give you, and you have this 2. If you try to give you 5, you add it to it, get 20. I think it's very, very easy. You can just consume that. You can easily do that for yourself, and therefore take advantage of that. Before I go, I want to remind you that we have shot our first 18 set of videos. It's on our website. Visit our website, www.steepcons.com. We have topics like national income accounting, balance of payment, international trade, industrialization. When it comes to economic growth, foreign direct investment, economic integration, all those things and a lot. We have done the economic analysis. We have done intuition and data response, everything. Once you go to our website and you sign up, you will pay a affordable fee. And after that, any time you can sign up, you go there without paying any fee, as many as you want. If you want a pen drive, you can buy the pen drive, put it on your laptop, put it on your phone. Anytime you are going out, you're sitting in car, you can be listening to it. Before you get to your destination, you have achieved something. So please leverage on these things I've given you to help hear that you have good news in economics. Bye-bye.